Let's talk about creativity. How do you think about creativity? Is it something that's an artistic gift that some people have and others don't? Unfortunately, a lot of us think about creativity as a skill that gets handed out at birth, and either you have it or you don't. Fortunately for all of us, creativity is actually a character strength. It's one of the 24 values in action character strengths that we can grow in small ways every day. Now, creativity is one of the 5 positive personality traits in the virtue of wisdom. Wisdom is the virtue that encompasses learning and using knowledge, gathering information and putting it to work to make our lives more wonderful, more meaningful. So, creativity is something everyone has access to, and it is not limited to artistic endeavors. The definition, according to the researchers at the Via Strengths Institute for creativity, is thinking of novel and productive ways to conceptualize and do things, including artistic achievement, but is not limited to it. If creativity is one of your signature strengths, you find these new ways of doing things or productive ways to conceptualize and accomplish things is energizing to you. Sometimes a change is as good as a break. To some degree, that's just a human trait. That's why creativity is one of the core 24 character strengths. And the cool thing about character strengths is they're present in everybody, even if it's in a very small amount. Now, when we look at that definition, we see novel and productive. That word productive for some of us has this association of productivity, but the meaning, according to the VIA research, is useful or meaningful. When you think about things in a meaningful way, when you arrange your day to suit what really matters, or you come up with a new way of handling a problem in order to be helpful, useful, or to serve a meaningful goal for yourself, that's creativity. What is not creativity is simply making an artistic mess that isn't useful to you or anyone else. I've actually seen people feel tortured because they think creativity is something outside of themselves that they have to discover. They have to stumble into a muse so that they can be spontaneously creative. This form of creativity is something that you sharpen by putting in the work to create a novel perspective and to find useful and meaningful ways to deal with life and handle whatever is on your plate. So, creativity, uh, it may involve artistic achievement, but it's certainly not limited to it. So, let's talk about how we conceptualize things and do things. Those are two of the major pieces of this definition. Are you spending time conceptualizing your day, your week, your work? Conceptualizing is kind of that visualization or organization stage where you wrap your head around or you get a feel for what you're working on. It could be the demands of managing the home for your family for the week, or a big project at work, or your career in general. Where are you going? Being able to conceptualize it, creativity is one of the strengths that allows you to pull pieces together and do that kind of thinking and to try to bring some freshness to it. If you're procrastinating or burned out on your work, think about conceptualizing what you're trying to accomplish in a new way. If you do that, you'll be strengthening your character trait of creativity. All right. And then when it comes to doing work, often we think about getting work done as if it is a sunk cost. To do my work, it will take X amount of energy. I have to just do it. All due respect to Nike, there are things we just do. But if we get our creativity involved, there are actually a million ways to do anything that needs to be done. At least 3 or 4 of them that you could come up with if you took a breath, maybe put a smile on your face to trigger some good chemical releases in your brain and say, if I was to do this meaningful thing in a way that was a little bit new. How could I make this a little bit lighter, a little bit more fun, a little bit more connected to others? Every time you do that, you are using your character strength of creativity, and it will increase your ability to produce a wise life full of insights. All right, so creativity is something we all can increase, and one of the best ways to do it is to really recognize that the meaning you're serving in your life should guide how you think about what you're doing. Connecting to that makes it possible to come up with new ways to do things that really honor your personal values. All right, now is it possible to be too creative? Just like any strength, when we overuse it, it actually results in problems. Overuse of creativity can often look like needing to reinvent the wheel all the time. Now, novelty is valuable, but excess novelty can actually cause a waste of time or stress for people that we're working with. Reinventing the process every time actually can lead to more mistakes. It can reduce the confidence of others that they know what we're doing. It can lead to us always learning the same lessons over and over again because we're not perfecting a process, we're always reinventing it. If that's the case, engaging our other strengths, for example, the strength of self regulation, just wanting to do something a new way and try something different, can be an emotional impulse for variety. And in some contests, it's actually good to practice another character strength of self regulation to use what is established instead of seeking novelty. Things like teamwork, kindness, perseverance, and perspective can all help us keep the balance to how much variety and novelty we're injecting into our work. One of the things that's really awesome is when we can get good at using our creativity to build on and support other people's plans or ideas. The most frequent way I see creativity backfiring on my friends and myself is when I end up creating a world so novel and changing that only I can run it. Only I can advance my projects. Only I can understand what I'm working on. If you're constantly creating novel ways to conceptualize and do things, it can be really hard for people to join with you, stand beside you, and challenge your thinking in a helpful and productive way. So use that creativity to build on or support others' plans as well as your own. And in that way, you can keep your curiosity and your creativity and your self regulation and teamwork, kindness and perseverance working together so that you can enjoy the fruits of your creativity. Thanks for joining us for this Creativity Strengths Spotlight. You can take your own VIA survey free at wildandbrave.com/VIA and learn more about your signature strengths and see if creativity is one of yours.